It's Michelle Barone. Welcome to RED Red. So excited to be here with iHeartMedia, the Hudson Valley. I'm here with Ashley, my co-host.
Hey.
What's up, Ash?
I am so excited for today's episode.
Me too. You know, I just met this person, and I'm not going to say his name yet because I want to give him a proper intro, but he is so much fun. I met him at Gary Vee's event when we did the NASDAQ, whole billboard experience for Gary's new book.
So cool.
And if you haven't picked it up, you have to. It's a must read. It's so great. And I just have to tell you, he was a really inspiring person. I was able to chat with him and just get some insight. He's actually a podcaster too for Who Is Podcast. He also did the Bold Entrepreneurs podcast, and he did that with Gary Vee under his company.
That's
so that
so
was
cool.
really cool. I mean, to have that experience. And another thing, known for 24 New York, which is huge. This is a really great friend now, and I'm so happy to be here with him, my friend Mike Press. What's up?
What's up, y'all?
Hey.
Hey guys, before today's episode, I want to talk to you about something that Ashley and I care a lot about, mental health.
That's right. Taking care of your mental health is just as important as taking care of your physical health. And Mental Health America of Dutchess County is the perfect place for that help.
Absolutely. Mental Health America of Dutchess County is super empowering and helps so many people with so many problems.
Honestly, it's pretty amazing seeing how mental health actually affects people. I mean, the guests that we've had on the show, we've talked about mental health in almost every episode, and it's a serious topic.
Now's the time to prioritize your mental well-being. If you're suffering from anxiety, depression, or anything mental health related, visit Mental Health America Dutchess County at mhaduchess.org. Hey everyone, it's Michelle here with back to school season upon us. It's time to gear up for those busy school days ahead at Adams Fairacre Farms. You'll find the freshest local produce and healthy snacks to pack those lunch boxes with care. From crisp apples to wholesome bread and everything in between, Adams has all the essentials to keep your kids energized, focused, and more throughout the school day. Stop by Adams Fairacre Farms and make this school year a fresh start for the whole family.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good. 48 hours ago, I just said hi to you. Now look where I'm at.
And now we're best friends.
So can we start there on the interaction of how you two met?
I'll let you tell it, Mike.
So, as you just said, we were at this NASDAQ thing for Gary, and you walked into the room, and the first thing that I said was, that's a tall Italian woman. I'll eventually talk to her. And, as we're just kind of like walking around, you just had presence, right? You were able to walk into the room and capitalize without saying anything, right? And then I was walking by you and you were like, hey, let me get your Instagram. I was like, all right, cool. This is how it's going to work. And I would prefer that because sometimes I don't like the whole formal, hey, how are you? What do you do? No, just get right to the business, please. Like, let's cut out all the BS. Let's get right to it. And we had a cool conversation for about like 10, 15 minutes about what the other person does. And you were like, yo, what are you doing on Thursday? I'm like, nothing. Like, what you doing on Thursday? And you said, come by. Like, let's just chop it up and talk. I said, sure. Just let me know what time.
Yeah, and that was it. And here we are. And, it's so funny because when I met you, I felt the same way. I felt like you were there, and I said, I wonder who that guy is. He's talking to Gary. Everybody there knew Gary in some capacity or someone that knew him, right? It was a private thing. But having met you there, and then I'm like, oh, he owns he has a podcast, and he's done a podcast with Gary's team and his company.
Yeah.
And then just doing so much, in the media world, I was like, we got to tell your story. You've done a lot. So let's start from the beginning. How'd you get into all this?
So I would say the way I got into media was the non-traditional way. I didn't go to school for journalism, anything like that. I went to school for sports administration down in North Carolina at a small school.
So sports administration, but ended up in media.
Right.
That's cool.
Right.
I like it.
I wanted to be an agent at one point, but my school didn't have the resources for that. I went to a historically black college named Johnson C. Smith.
Okay, cool.
But what I was able to do was take the sports administration program and flip it into me working in media relations.
Got it.
So I worked for the Carolina Panthers for about 3.5 years.
Wow.
That's so cool.
So I was the guy that would be at pregame draft days. So you messed up today. Tell me how you feel about it.
What was that like?
It was intimidating because I was like 21.
Right.
And everybody in there is way older than me. So they're just looking at me like, oh, can you go get me some water? I'm like, no.
Can you answer this question though?
Right. Can you answer this question though? So
Why did you fumble?
right, literally, that's me. Why?
What was that play?
That it was scary because I was asking the questions that nobody wanted to ask. And that was the only way that I could stand out being 21, 22 years old in a room full of everybody being 35 and up.
That's amazing.
Absolutely, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So fast forward, came back to New York, modeled that thing, did the acting thing. So being in front of a camera has always been
Your thing.
my thing.
Yep.
And then opening a sneaker store in New York City, kind of what led me to having the show with Gary.
I have to tell you, before we go into the show with Gary, which is so cool, I want to talk about the sneakers because, my God, you have some of the best sneakers in the world. Let's talk about them.
Yeah. 24 New York was a concept that my partner and I at the time kind of like created. And we just wanted to have a place for the people that we knew to come to hang out, to indulge within culture of sports and fashion and street culture. And so we ended up opening a store in Hudson Yards as well as the Oculus down at the World Trade Center.
Amazing.
Cool.
That is iconic. What's it like being down there in the hustle and bustle?
Yo, we tired. Like, we real tired. But I just recently stepped away because I wanted to just kind of focus on other things as well as too. Stores are still there.
Right.
So I always tell people, still go buy them, go online,
Yep.
www.24newyork.com and see what we got.
That's amazing. Amazing. So how does it feel now to be doing more about you and your purpose in life?
It's re-energizing.
Interesting.
When you start a business that requires you to be there all the time, it's very draining.
Yeah.
Right? You feel like everything else is passing by you.
Yeah.
You feel like, how do I still remain me, but I'm locked in here for like 20 hours a day?
Yeah.
Right?
It's a lot.
So when I stepped away, it was just like everything opened up. It was just like God had his foot on my neck and was just like, all right, I'm gonna give you a little air. And then as soon as he did that, it was just like calls came in. And I was like, I'm gonna receive all of this and just live in what is now.
I love that. And what are the few things that you're up to now that you are able to share?
Yeah. Right now I'm just more on I guess I could just say like I'm consulting other brands.
Cool.
What I realized and found out is that a lot of brands don't know how to reach people. They have the clothing, they have the product, but how do you reach people?
Yep.
So one brand that I'm working with is called Cuso, Black and Latino culture that is based in fashion. So what they tried to do was take stories of their uncles and their aunts from like back in the 70s and recreate clothing based on that. So one guy, his uncle worked in, I want to say, as a conductor for NTA. So he always had like a workman jacket. So he recreated this like workman jacket with the Cuso logo on it as like a homage to him. So I said, look, just give me a sample of it and watch what I do with it. Watch where it ends up because you need the exposure to it. And then I ended up with Michelle Barone.
How you doing? That's it. I have
It
to
always
tell you.
circles back to Michelle Barone.
I try. But I really love this logo. And I was looking at the jacket and I was like, that's fire. But I didn't know what it was. And here we are talking
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
And I think it's important, like you said, you just never know where it ends up. All the people that you touch. And they're looking at that because it's bold and it's cool and it's hot. And so, you know, it's I always listen to Damon John, right? Recently I watch him online.
Yeah.
And he always talks about when he started his brand, just getting it in the hands, getting it in the music videos, putting it anywhere you get eyeballs, right?
I mean,
in the right target
That's how I
audience.
found out about
Right.
it, about FUBU back in the day.
Exactly.
It was LL Cool J,
That's it.
licking lips king. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. So, you know, it's very interesting. I love it though. Really, really nice fit. And I just, you know, being someone that promotes brands, because I do the same, and it's interesting because media and marketing are super connected, right? It's the same today anyway. And knowing the marketing side of it, it's hard sometimes to prove a return on investment. It's hard sometimes for clients to say, well, how come I'm spending this much money with you?
Right.
And what are you going to do with me for me to warrant me spending that money?
Yeah.
And, you know, when I take on a project, I only take it on as a marketer, knowing that I can improve the ROI, the return.
Yeah.
And the way that I do that is month over month. There's no other way, right?
Yeah.
Every time.
It's a long game.
It's a long game. You know, it's not like, oh, tomorrow you're going to see a sale because I posted something today. You will a couple sales
Mm-hmm.
might come in, but you'll see a really big difference from November to November last year.
Yeah.
After 2, 3, 4 months of working together.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
think people don't give it the time
Exactly.
that it needs to like nestle within
Exactly.
something. And when I was at 24 New York, that was like the main thing was that we would have NBA players come in. We would have Gary come in. We would have like the top high school kids come in. And it's like, okay, we give them all the stuff, but now what?
Yeah.
When people see it on somebody, they're asking them the question of where they got it from.
Right. Or they're looking on their Instagram saying, I
Right.
want to buy that.
Right,
Where
looking
is
for the
it?
Exactly.
tag,
So
yeah.
then they go to the Instagram because that's the quickest way to get to somebody. But you never know where the sale originally came from,
Right.
unless they walked into the store.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
100%. And talk to me about Gary Vee now, because you met him. What was that moment like when you first met him at your store?
All right, I've been starstruck twice in my life.
Okay.
The first time was when I met Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Woo! I would have been starstruck too.
That was the first. That was the first time where I was like, I don't know what to say. And then when I met Gary, he came into the store, and I had no idea that he was coming in.
You had no clue, so you didn't like
No
to
clue.
brush up. Did you
Nope.
shave that day?
Well, we always clean up in here.
All right.
We always clean
All
up.
right,
in
all
here.
right.
But I had already started the podcast, was already filming, but you just don't know if the head guy knows.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So he walks in, and the guy that I was working with, he went over to him, was like, get your ass up away from him. He's mine. And I was like, I'm going, you switch. And I'm doing all of this as he's in the store. So it was a full circle moment because his people came down to the store first. And, I was always wondering when he would come.
Yeah, because you knew he loves sneakers.
And I was like, just show up when I'm there.
Yeah, please.
Just show up when I'm there.
Yeah.
And then the other day, I just kind of pulled him to the side and just kind of, you kind of like say it again. And he was like, no, I remember that day. And he verbatim like remembered it and like spoke about things that happened that day. And I was like, yeah, I was kind of excited, right? I was kind of a little hyped that day. But it was, he was one of the people that I've always wanted to meet.
I just love Pixie Beauties on the.
Hold on a second. I'm not ready yet.
Oh, geez, Ash, seriously?
Are you kidding? Have you seen how my skin has been glowing lately? I'm not stopping.
I mean, seriously, Pixie Beauty products are for every day, and they are the best. I love the Glow Tonic. It's become a staple in my skincare.
I love that product. I use it every day before I do my skincare. And honestly, it's like brightens my face, I want to say.
Yeah, I mean, a guest commented today on how beautiful you looked and that you were dewy and glowy, and it's all because of Pixie.
Honestly, Pixie products just know how to make you feel beautiful in your own skin.
My favorite is the Pixie On The Glow blush. It is so much fun. You can just stick it right on, take it out. It's just one of my favorites. It's so much fun, and it looks so good on.
Honestly, it gives you like a nice sun-kissed glow. I absolutely love it, and it's going to be great for summer. If you guys want to glow this summer just like us, visit www.pixiebeauty.com. Michelle, have you seen these stunning pieces from Rock and Roll Designs?
Absolutely. I am obsessed. Like, this white jade is my absolute favorite. It goes with every outfit.
Totally, I love that piece. I'm actually wearing it as well. I feel like every time I wear it, my vibes are just so high.
Oh my God, me too. I have to tell you, same here. It's either the chunky white bracelet or necklace for me. Love them. It's not too over the top either.
I feel like I could dress it up, dress it down. I can wear it out. I can wear them to the gym even. I bring them
Exactly.
everywhere with me.
Yeah, and they're like really strong too. Like, they don't break and they're chic. Love it.
Rock and Roll Designs has definitely become a staple in my accessory collection, and Rock and Roll Design can become a perfect addition to your collection too. Every piece of jewelry is custom, and every crystal has a special meaning that will help you with your self-care practices. Check out their websites at www.rockandrolldesign.org to find the perfect piece for you.
And you know what's funny, well, especially being in marketing and knowing, the brand side, he's God to us, right?
Yeah.
But I will say, like, when you now know him and you formed a relationship, you had a podcast with his team. What
Yeah.
was the journey like from the day you met him, and how did it all play out?
So I'll take you back to how it played out. A guy that used to work there, his name is Arden Franklin. He's a big media guy that covers basketball, football, women's basketball. He comes into the store and he's looking around. Little do we know, we used the same videographer. He worked upstairs with Gary at the time. Then Gary's now core relationships person, Ashley Shim, as we both know,
Love her.
Love her.
she came downstairs and she kept on asking, like, who's Mike? And I was never there every time she asked. So finally she came down one day, I was there, and I said, look, I need 3 minutes. She said, I really got to go to a lunch with my friend. I said, I need 2 minutes because it's already been 60 seconds of us talking. She says, okay, I'll come back down. Sat down and I just said, look, I'm looking to either be on a show, create a show, or pitch you the ideas that I have for a show. I have the backbone of it. You can literally throw me in front of a camera right now and I'll just go.
Yep.
And at the moment I was like, I'm doing a lot right now, because she just sat there and was just like this. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, I done messed this up. And so a week later, she calls me and says, hey, we want to bring you in for a screen test. So I said, okay, cool. So I go into the screen test, and it was with Ryan Harwood, who at the time was, I think, CEO of Gallery Media.
Yep.
And he was interviewing me. But in the same time, I was interviewing him.
Right.
So I was like, I'm gonna do both.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you can kind of see the versatility.
Yeah.
And then from that point on, they brought me in, and we just started creating the show.
That's amazing. Yeah, let's give it up.
Yeah, clap it up.
Yeah,
Crazy.
that's insane. What was that like?
Creating a show I had never done before, but the bare bones of what they had already was 90s nostalgia, 80s and 90s nostalgia.
Love it.
Cereal, and speaking to entrepreneurs. All things that I do every day.
Yep.
I eat cereal every single day.
Really? What kind did you eat on the show?
No, now it's my turn. What's your favorite cereal?
Oh, hold on. All right. Well, I don't want to say because it's not really a healthy choice, but if I could honestly pick like my favorite cereal that I could eat and I haven't eaten it in years, it's Fruity Pebbles.
I knew you were going to say that. I was waiting for you to say it. I knew you were going to say
Here's
that.
the thing. I don't eat it because I can't eat it.
I'm judging.
I can't eat it.
I'm not even judging because you can't eat. I'm judging because you said Fruity Pebbles. Ash, what about you?
Oh gosh. Okay. I think go-to always is probably like Captain Crunch, but I just tried Kix the other day and like it's not that bad. What do you like? I like Pops.
Pops are good.
What do you
I
like? Like
can't-
Rice Krispie?
No, I can't do none of these.
Cheerios?
Well, yeah.
I mean, what?
But that's
You're
not the
vanilla.
favorite. But that's not
I like
the
the
favorite.
Honey Nut Cheerios.
What?
See?
You
All
should have
right.
said that
Okay,
first.
all right.
But no, that's
Let's
not
try
the
again.
favorite though. Apple Jacks. Come on, son.
Oh,
Y'all
Apple
wildin'.
Jacks
Eat an
are
Apple
really
Jack?
good,
Y'all wild.
actually.
I wouldn't eat an Apple Jack
Yeah,
if you
wildin'.
paid me to eat
Are you
one.
serious? I'd
hate
eat that
those.
over Fruit Loops.
Y'all.
Fruit Loops I hate too.
Y'all
I don't like
wildin'.
Apple
any.
Jacks are good. It's
Fruity-
cinnamon
but-
and apple.
But Fruity Pebbles is like mad soggy by the time you get two
That's
scoops
why
in
I
there.
like it.
Nah, you wild.
I like the crunchy and then it gets soft and then it's just perfect.
Nah, sound like something else.
I knew you were going to say that. I'm amazed that I guessed that.
I love Fruity Pebbles, but I don't eat
That's
it. But
so
you know what? I
funny.
like Raisin Bran.
There you go. Get your fiber in.
Yeah, I like it. I
How
like
do you go from Fruity Pebbles to Raisin Bran?
Listen, I haven't.
You
had-
went from Kicks to Honey Nut to
I
Honey
feel
Bunches
I
of
feel like
Oats.
they're kind of on the same thing. Honey Bunches of Oats.
That's what you said, right?
No.
No, she said Honey
Honey Nut
Bunch.
Cheerios.
Honey
Same
Nut
thing.
Cheerios. Yeah.
Same shit.
Same thing.
I like, it's really hard. I like that one brand that I do eat occasionally is like that Ezekiel cereal.
Bible cereal?
Yeah, that Bible stuff. That I like. It has like a really good like I don't know, texture. It gets soggy, but it's not crazy and not good for you with food dyes and all that. Like,
There's
use
like the
Moses
Chex
milk?
cereal.
Moses milk.
Use Moses milk.
That's funny.
I've never
that's
heard
funny.
of Ezekiel cereal.
Neither have
Oh,
I,
you gotta go look
actually.
it up. How did I go? What? You're the cereal king.
Right, but we use sugary cereals over here.
You are too funny. So, what did you guys talk about with entrepreneurs while you were eating cereal?
So the main thing that I really wanted to get was the real feeling of what it's like being an entrepreneur when you start your own business, right? I wanted people to feel the heat of when you can't pay rent,
Yeah.
when you can't pay employees, when you feel like, kicking all these cameras off and being like, I'm done with it.
Yeah.
Like that's what I always tried to pull. Did it always happen? No. But did it happen a good amount of times? Yes. I wanted people to sometimes be watching and, we start out all funny.
Yep.
And then you watch your energy just change to being
Ooh, that's real.
like you're in, right? And we had a few people on there where I became a spectator. I became like a viewer and I'm interviewing. I'm like, oh, right. I got to ask you another question. So I think that was my main goal for it.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Through this process, did you have any like iconic moments where you're like, wow, that was amazing?
With the show or in general?
With the show, with the experience with Gary, with you being an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
any of it.
I'll tackle all three. One for myself was when my mom came to the first store opening, and she came earlier in the day and she had no idea what I was doing. She had no idea about me building a store, nothing like that. So when she walked in, she didn't understand like what she was looking at. I was like, yeah, this is kind of like what I've been doing. She's like, what do you mean you've been doing? Like my mom, old black lady. She's like, what you mean you've been doing? But my dad passed away like 6 years ago. So it's like more so, this is what I've always tried to do for our family name, is to always put it on a platform that's bigger. Okay. Bold entrepreneurs. I think the biggest one was when I interviewed JoJo Simmons.
Woo!
Because I used to watch him on TV. So that was like the kind of crazy thing. And me and him have become cool since then.
That's so cool.
That's cool.
And I just think overall, third one is just actually meeting Gary and him knowing who I was and being able to just talk to him.
Yeah.
Like doing what you watch other people do online.
Yeah.
Right? But being able to do it more than once.
That's so cool. You know, I mean, iconic moment was the night I met you, being on the billboard with him. I mean, he's been a legend in my mind
Yeah.
for years.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be on a billboard, and here we are with him. Like
Yeah.
my mind was blown.
Yeah. And sometimes we don't, we take it in like subtly, but then like in the back end, we like, yeah.
Yeah, it happened. It happened. But you know what? I feel like for me, and I don't know if it goes the same way for you, but when you're an achiever and an entrepreneur and you're always on the grind, it's like, all right, we did that. Now what?
Yeah.
What's the next thing?
Yeah, it's always what's next.
Tomorrow's a podcast, film day with 12 episodes. After that, what are we doing tomorrow? Like,
That's even how we travel. We take a red-eye flight, and we're right back in the office.
yeah, like,
Look, the way that y'all two work, I'm like, oh no, y'all got stamina.
She taught me.
Y'all got stamina because y'all got outfit changes. Like y'all got stamina.
well, I told Ashley, I was like, this is how it goes, girl. You coming
Yeah.
or what? Were we doing it?
We've been wanting to do this forever.
Yeah,
So now
yeah.
that we're here, there's no complaints.
Y'all drink coffee?
No. I don't drink coffee. No caffeine. I really rarely have sugar.
I love
can't.
a good coffee. Like sometimes I'm just like, ugh, I need a little excitement in my day.
I
Like
need
just a little
decaf.
drink.
Decaf.
All right.
All right.
Here's
Yeah.
a real question for you. Ready?
Okay.
How many times have you been late just to get coffee?
So many. Being late is kind of like my one fatal flaw. Like that's the thing.
Comes up every day in meetings.
It's basically
You know,
a
it comes up like
personality
all
trait.
the time, but
Like,
you know,
guys,
nothing
we
big.
really have to work on time, Ashley. We need to
Yeah.
work on time.
It's like 20 minutes is really an hour. Oh, by the way, efficiency, it's down, Ashley.
yeah. She's like, Ashley, be at my house at 4:50. No one
Yeah.
had to be there till like 5:15. She just
Exactly.
wanted to make sure I was
Sorry,
there.
but I feel like the person that's always late comes in with the
Coffee.
Oh,
I know.
always, without fail. I mean, if I'm late,
Full.
there's got to be a good reason, I guess,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. But I don't even get one.
I don't drink coffee at all.
Me either. Why?
I never needed it because I've always woken up early.
Yep.
Like ever since I was a kid, I've like anywhere from 5 to 6 a.m. I've always woken up.
Wow.
So and then I just stay up. Now my fatal flaw is falling asleep early.
Really?
Okay.
You get me after 7:57 p.m. that exact time, I am lights out.
That's
I'm,
why you didn't
I
answer
envy
last
that,
night.
though.
I was wondering
I'm
what
trying to
happened
tell you, like we done. When the street lights come on, sun go down, I'm out.
I wish. That's last night I got 1 hour of sleep. I could not sleep. I was staring at the ceiling. I was like, I don't know what's going
You give
on.
me
excited.
15 minutes.
I was excited to be here.
You give me 15 minutes right now, I'll be full passed out in,
Me
in
too.
22 dreams.
Actually, just give me a pillow right for your shoulder.
Really.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you can also sleep anywhere.
I can sleep.
Yeah.
I'm a good sleeper. I
She loves a
sleep
good
like
nap.
baby. So going back to you and your life, because it's been super inspiring with all the things that you've done. I mean, it is not easy to have a store in the Oculus and in Hudson Yards. These are not things that normal people do.
Yeah.
What was that experience like? How did you decide this is what I'm going to do? Like, where did you even come from to come up with an idea like that?
So it originally started from a free throw contest.
What?
Right. Yes. The story's kind of crazy. We started from a free throw contest, and we just really tried to want to keep the community of that because we didn't know how to expand on the free throw contest.
Got it.
We wanted it to be bigger, and my partners at the time, I always say this: I've never done anything alone. Like it was all of us as a collective that got things done.
I love that. Takes a team.
Yeah, it takes a team, and we started it not knowing what it would blow up into, and then it kind of just really blew up into something where each day we were just like, Okay, good. So that happened. Okay, check.
Next.
And things just started like checking off the box, but it always ended up being like, okay, what's next? Okay, what's next? How do we keep the momentum going?
I love that. That's
Absolutely.
amazing.
Was there a time when you were talking to an entrepreneur that like they said something that really stuck with you that you take with you every day now?
Yeah. And I hate to say it, but I was told to figure it out.
Really?
And this is the example I'll give. If your car breaks down, what do you got to do?
Figure it out.
Yep.
You lose your phone, what do you got to do?
Figure
It out. I did that in New York City.
Your computer breaks down in the middle of a podcast, what do you got to do?
Figure it out.
You will always have to figure it out.
Yeah.
And as hard as it was to hear it at the time that it was told to me, because in a sense you want, and like, let's just say you feel down, right? You kind of want to be comforted in a little bit. But when somebody tells you, well, figure it out, you're like, you mother. But it's the thing that you sometimes need to be reminded of, that if you're running the show and everybody on your team is messing up, you're eventually going to say, figure it out.
Exactly.
And they have to do that.
Yep.
Or reverse role, let's just say you messing up and
Right.
everybody else is doing it. They're like, can you please figure this out?
Right.
Because you're the leader. You're the person that's supposed to guide
Exactly.
us.
Yep.
Everybody has to figure it out.
That's right.
I like
It's
that.
it's up to everybody to make it work. And you know, we all have to do our part.
Yeah.
And clear roles are important in that.
Yeah.
Because making sure there's a divide with what you're doing versus I'm doing, so there's no back and forth. And it's very important. You're right. I mean, I think over the years in leadership, and I was a bank marketer for 6 years.
Oh, wow.
So I ran a banking department for 6 years at a bank in the Hudson Valley. And I had my boss was the president, and
Yeah.
he had very little involvement. We had a 1 hour meeting every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
in
Where he
marketing.
just sits there and goes, uh-huh.
Exactly. So I had to figure it all out. Whatever it was, I figured it out. How are
Yeah.
we marketing this? What are we doing? How much money are we spending? You're talking a lot of money too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I got this. And you just take it on and you say, okay, this is the best decision I can make in the situation I have. And that's what you just have to do.
Yeah.
So now I think, going through that, and sometimes you make a mistake.
You will.
You will, but that's okay. You have to fall a little to earn, to get ahead. You
That's-
really do.
And that's what young entrepreneurs fight with, I think, today
Yep.
is making mistakes. Like, you're not perfect at anything.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like, we're not even perfect at talking.
Yeah.
You know
right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Every now and then we get a hiccup. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So you have to be okay with the mistakes and the mess ups, but just learn from it and move forward.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, you'll be okay. You'll be forced to learn how to manage money. You're going to
Yeah.
be forced to learn how to lead. You're going to be forced to have your back against the wall and be like, well, I got to face this, whatever that is.
Right.
Those tough conversations or whatever,
Yeah.
or get this person to do the right thing. You can't control people, but you have to always learn how to navigate that without being offensive and all those things. It's a lot,
Yeah.
but we're here
We're here.
and we're doing it.
We're doing it.
So I want to know one last thing from you. What is one piece of advice you would give out of all the things you've been through to others listening to this and to people out there who, you feel can learn something from you? What's one piece of advice you'd give?
Adversity is going to teach you everything. If you do not go through something big that forces you to change, if you don't go through something that smacks you in the face that forces you to change, you probably never will.
Yep.
You'll stay comfortable in your situation. But if you're always trying to get to the next step, into the next level, somebody's going to try to push you over the edge to get you there. A situation is going to happen in your life that's going to make you move that in that direction. And eventually you're going to get sick and tired of where you are.
Yep. I love it.
I really like that.
I love that
was a
too.
perfect answer.
And you are very calming.
Yeah.
I love your whole aura. I just need to just at the end.
Everything's gonna be good.
Yeah, we're good.
Figure it out.
Exactly.
I listen to a lot of Sade.
Yep. Ooh, I love Sade. Now we're talking. Sade it is.
Listen to a lot of Sade.
Well, we just want to give you a little gift for being a wonderful guest here on Red.
I get lip gloss.
You do. Pixie Beauty, how you doing?
It's my favorite.
Actually, you get a bracelet from
Ooh.
Rock and Roll Designs. They
Dope.
are, for any gender, and it's just so fun. Each of them have a story.
Okay.
Ashley, do you want to do the honors? What color should we give him?
Ooh, okay. I don't know. What's your vibe?
My vibe looking at it is clear.
Okay.
Oh, the clear vibes. I love it. And we are actually going to give you a box of Rock and Roll Designs.
I
You
can
can
put it
put
in
it
there for 'em.
right
I
inside.
appreciate it, yo.
Look how cool their packaging is.
I just love them. I wear
I
them
didn't know
every
I
day.
could get gifts up in here.
See that?
I didn't
We
give no
got-
gifts on my show.
We got the gifting suite right here. Love it. That's right. And look how nice that looks. I mean, seriously.
Great packaging.
Yep.
And I'm curious to see what the story is on it too.
Oh, you have to read
There's
it.
all different
It's amazing.
meanings for all of them. We're
Yes.
twinning. I have my clear one on as well.
Yep. Well, thank you so much, Mike Press. Where can people find you online?
Oh, thank you. You can always find me online. Instagram, it's I'm Mike Press, the letter I, the letter M, and my full name, Mike Press. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on SoundCloud. I don't really TikTok like that, but Instagram is my main form.
Well, you just did a TikTok with us, so now I feel honored.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's just about to go fire. About to go fire.
That's
Now
right.
he's going to have to come to TikTok.
Exactly. Mike Press. I mean, it couldn't be a better name. I love the name. I wish my last name was Press.
We
That
could-
is-
we could
we
see
could
if we
change
could
it.
change-
All right. We got this. Mike,
There's enough of
We're
us.
coming for your brand.
There's enough of us.
there's enough of us. We don't need no more. Nice to meet you, Mike. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
on.
you.
Ashley, where can
you.
people find you?
You guys can find me at Ash McPherson, 2 H's on all socials.
And you can find me at Michelle Barone online. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.